seriously, we are going to struggle to get those 6 points that we need. It is dire. The board have stitched us up.
Right, let's get to your calls. Go to GJ. He's a Spurs fan. All right, GJ?
How you doing, boys? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, matey. I'm all right. What's your take on De Zerbi?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sold on him, to be honest with you, lads. Look, he's better than getting Sean Dyche. Where does Sean Dyche get this reputation as a relegation specialist, by the way? You speak to Everton fans, he was going to send them down. And I was at the Forest game and I was speaking to Forest fans as we was leaving the stadium, and they were saying, do you think about Sean Dyche? And I said, I don't want him. They said, we agree. They said, we were so glad that we got rid of him because he was going to get them relegated. So I don't know.
His record actually wasn't that bad at Nottingham Forest. It was that he got them out of trouble, really.
I think when he left, they were back in the relegation zone. But
Yeah,
I mean, I suppose he was better than. Yeah. So De Zerbi, right? If you look at his record, so he lasted 1 year at Shakhtar Donetsk. He lasted 1 year, 9 months at Brighton. And more recently, I think he lasted 1 year, 7 months at Marseille.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Well, we were better off from a 5-year contract. He clearly doesn't stick around for long, James.
No managers really stick around. I mean, it's the way that,
it's the security.
It's hardly any manager. 18 months now for a manager. Like that's
long.
That's normal. It's average, right? It's rare you get in an Arteta anymore. Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, De Zerbi, listen, he's left on Marseille because really he fell out with them. But you got to look at the fact that the job he's done. I don't care if he goes in 18 months' time, as long as we're in the Premier League.
And you're in Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, if he keeps us up, then he's earned his money because, no matter how much we're paying him, it's definitely less than the money we'll lose if we go down. I agree on that.
Do you think this is a risk? There's a lot of people saying it's a risk.
No risk.
Well, it is a risk. Any manager.
Well, any manager's a risk right now, right?
Yes,
any manager.
Lesser of a risk.
Any manager's a risk. And once the players cross that white line, it's all on them anyway, because the players have got us in this mess. I mean, Tudor, we know this. Tudor shouldn't have come. We should never have got Tudor.
No.
However, some of the decisions on the pitch, like these red cards, like Romero leaving his position for the second goal and Papassar not following, that's all on the plate, right? However, De Zerbi, it's not just that he doesn't stick around. He falls out with the squad and the staff. I mean, his last couple of games, I think, at Marseille, where he got battered 3-0 in the Champions League by Bruges, and then it got wiped 5-0 by PSG.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but I was just going to say, just my final point, I was just going to say, you talk about managers sticking and not sticking around for long. I would go for Andoni Iraola, guys.
But you ain't going to get Andoni Iraola now.
Not right now.
Why not?
What do you mean, why not? Because he's at Bournemouth.
So what?
What do you mean, so what? He's not going to leave Bournemouth now, GJ.
Yeah, leave.
7 games left of a season.
Mate, I'm telling you, if we throw him the money, we're going to throw it De Zerbi, right?
That ain't happening.
I don't see.
That ain't happening. GJ, I'm telling you now, it don't happen. I don't know what planet you're living on. You can't go and get an Iraola when Bournemouth have got 7 games left of a season. Their owners will turn around and say, I don't care how much money you offer him. You ain't having him.
Yeah, but,
GJ, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. That's too much. I think what's going to happen is, look, all you care about now is staying up for this season, right? It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Even if it's Iraola comes in, he's still got that task ahead of him. You need someone that can come in, and there might be actual future for now looking for, because the players might say, do you know what? We've got a manager here, that we can see taking us to Europe next season. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got his record is that you don't want him. I don't think you need him for 18 months. The 5-year contract is just for his security, right? If he's going to get a 5-year contract, it's just for security. So if he does part ways, he'd want that for him to come. Well, just security.
He's in a position to ask for that.
Yeah, he can. So if he's going to leave his job right now and whatever he's doing to come now and to save the day, he's going to ask for a fat bonus, and he's going to ask for the right money that he feels he deserves. If you go down, he'll probably have to stick around because that's probably going to be in the contract, and to try and get you up at the first time of asking. Yeah. So that could be the best situation that you're going to come out with. You can't get an Iraola. There's no way Bournemouth are going to let Iraola go now.
I think
no way.
as availability in terms of getting something done quickly, because we need it to be quick, because he's got to get him over the line, because we got a game in 12 days. He is the perfect fit. There ain't another manager out there that I would have rather took.
Well, you've run out of them.
Yeah, I know. Well, Igor Tudor was an absolute disaster class. I mean, let's be
You've
honest.
run out of managers.
Whoever made that decision was an absolute joke. Let's go to Andrew, who's a Brighton fan. Andrew.
Oh, good evening, chaps. How are we?
I'm all right. You've had De Zerbi. What did you make of him?
Oh, we absolutely loved him at Brighton. When the club announced his departure, it was ahead of the final game of the season. A good sort of 80-90% of the fan base were livid that he was going. Now, it would be it'd be great for us to see him back in the Premier League. You know, the large majority of our fan base still really like him, and you know, I think some of them would like him to do well, except when we play you guys.
Well, we've got you. His first home game, if he does come in, he's against you.
What does he do? What does he do that Spurs can look forward to?
He's very attacking, very possession-based. He does. The only flaws really with him is that when he was at Brighton and even at Marseille, because I tuned into a fair few of their games, getting hit on the counter is a big problem.
Yeah.
And see, Tudor, you know, I know obviously he didn't do very well at all.
No.
De Zerbi is pretty hardline. If you guys thought Tudor was pretty fierce at times, De Zerbi is, you know, 10 times that, really.
Well, how do you know that? You don't know that. We don't know what Igor Tudor was really like in the changing room. We don't really know.
He was supposedly
he was hard. Okay, but, I mean, what do you want a manager to be, right? What do you want a manager to be? You don't want a manager to be soft, do you?
No, of course not. Of course not. No, not at all.
You want a manager to get the best out of you. You want him to push you. You want him to demand, you know, standards. He's not going to walk in and just start battering the players, is he?
Also, Tudor
No, of course not.
Off the field problems that we found out later on with his family life. So
who?
Tudor.
Oh yeah, Tudor.
So it was so he came into this job probably with one eye on that as well, and so he probably wasn't giving his all.
We don't know that.
We don't know, but I'm just speculating here. But I think De Zerbi has that hard line where you thinking, don't mess around, you gotta go out there and run, go and run, and that's the bottom line for you lot. You need to go and get your players to run first, and then the skill come later.
All right, Andrew, listen, thanks for your call. We're going to continue taking calls on this. De Zerbi, the right man for Tottenham. Is he a risk? 03 717 22 3344.